special for you on the program today. Scratch that. We have someone very special joining us on the program. Our next guest is the executive producer, writer, and presenter of a long-running program, Music and Spoken Word, broadcast in Utah, the United States. Join us as we welcome Derrick, who's live in our Lagos studio. Good morning, Derrick.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
There's a lot of history behind you, and we'll do some proper introduction, right? So Nigerians get to understand who you are, what you do, the legacy behind you, and ahead of you. Almost 100 years running a radio and TV show. Come on, that's longevity. But we'd like to get to know you first, right? Let's start with the person, then we'll talk about the project. Tell us about your journey, maybe a little about your own journey and how you came to this unique role, which I must say has a lot of legacy.
Yeah, well, thank you. This is a place I never expected, to be, meaning associated with music and the spoken word. As you mentioned, the program has aired for more than 5,000 weeks in a row without missing a single week during that time. Ooh. And I had opportunity from the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who called me one day and said, would you be willing to fill this role? And I had been an entrepreneur for 20 years prior to that, not really doing anything in media or communications, but my time as an entrepreneur running a business and connecting with people and facilitating conversation and things like this, I feel has prepared me to take these reins. And I've been pleased to do it. Music's been a part of my life since I was a little boy. As a family, we used to gather and to sing together and perform for others. I didn't always enjoy it when I was little, but now I look back and I'm grateful for those memories. And so music has played a part in our family for my entire life.
That's beautiful. Your journey to Nigeria started in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya. You went to Ghana before you came to Nigeria. There's a history behind that, but we won't get into it. let's talk
well,
about.
Some may say we saved the best for last.
Well,
that's how I would view it.
You're obviously good with your words. That's a good way to put it. But let's talk about what you do. Yes, you have a lot of experience you worked, and you still are part of BIG, the big group, right? But now with music and the spoken word, I mentioned for nearly 100 years, started in 1929 on radio, then went to television about 20 years after, and you have not missed an episode. I need to reiterate that because when you do a show, you understand the kind of work that goes into the show, but your show is also different.
Yeah.
It's a religious show. The kind of themes, the things you speak about are quite different, and you've reached millions of people around the world. So why do you think music and spoken inspiration continues to resonate deeply across the world?
Well, I was sat with a good friend last night at dinner who is a senior leader for our church in this region of Africa. And he said something that I thought was quite profound. He said, all of our needs are so different. Our differences are great, but the solution to our needs are often more similar than we think. And as we think about the role that music can play in our life, it has the ability to bring us together and to unite us and to remind us of the things that matter most. And when we distill down the things that matter most, we recognize that they are very few things, but they are important things. And music over these last 100 years nearly with the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. The choir, by the way, is 178 years old.
Even older than
Even older. They've only been doing the show for 100 years. Cool. But we have learned during that time that music has the ability to soften hearts, has the ability to unite people and souls, has the ability to help us recognize that there's things bigger in this world than just us, and the importance and the power and the impact of community. And this is our work, being here in Nigeria now, is being able to tell this story of the entire African continent and what we can learn from this and the beauty of these teachings, of these peoples, of these words, and how we can all unite and be together as one.
I can tell you for free that Africa is literally rhythm. That Africa is music itself.
Yes.
This is what we breathe, it's what we live by, whether it's formal kind of music or informal kind of music. So I want to understand in your journey and in your tour, whatever you're doing in Africa, which is quite important in integrating faith and music, what have you expunged from the African kind of music to integrate into the music you're doing that can further serve Africa and the entire faith community?
There is so much we can learn from the people of Africa and their appreciation of music and how they express themselves through music. In each of these countries that we talked about and have listed in as we've gone, we have seen African choirs come together. And I just wish I could take them and bring them with me everywhere that we have opportunity to go in the world. Because as I've watched these people sing, they do it with such an expression of joy and of happiness. And almost all of the problems seem to distill away. And having this silo effect of coming together, recognizing, again, of the things that matter the very most. And so in each of these countries, including tonight here in Lagos, where we've invited choirs to come together and to perform numbers many times that I haven't even heard before. And maybe I don't even understand the words because of different beautiful languages, but I can understand and feel the spirit of what is being sung. And so what it's taught me is when I return home to Salt Lake City, I hope to be able to sing and express myself more like the people that I have seen and observed doing this here, which is doing so in an unabashed way and being able to say, this is me and this is one way of expressing.
You know, going through your bio, I couldn't help but agree more with you that music is a form of worship, you know, being a singer myself, and gives us a slice of heaven. And so I'd like you to bring us into your portal. And, you know, it's unique for every performer, every minister of music, how that portal is open to them and they get that inspiration that brings us into their world. So I'd like you to talk to us about that. At the same time, it's interesting also that you stand at a vantage position of someone who has been on radio for a long time and has the opportunity to get feedback. So does music and the spoken word sometimes feel lonely for you, and you get pressure to get into the world of commercial appeal?
Yes, I'll address both of those wonderful questions. First off, I have enjoyed so much this role because it has allowed for me to dive into the creative, expressive side. And what I've learned that in order for me to be successful, because every week I write a 400-word message, and I'm the writer of it and responsible for having to find those words. And so searching the world for the words that matter, searching the world for stories that matter. And I've learned for me that in order to do that, I have to make sure I'm putting myself in a position to be inspired. So I've learned that to be inspired, you have to do things that can inspire you. And so that means connecting with the right people, spending time to connect with God each day, spending time to make sure that I'm with my family and trying to support them in the proper way, things that can foster those feelings of inspiration. And in terms of the loneliness, the world can become a lonely place, and there are pressures at times where people say, you should talk about this, or weigh in on this political issue or that. And what I've learned for that is when I say, what should I write this week? The answers don't come as easily as when I say, God, what would you have me write this week? And when I instead try to shift it there and really try to listen and recognize that this is not about me, and the minute it becomes about me, some of that feeling goes away. But when I recognize, what do you want me to write? Suddenly, those truths that we mentioned earlier at the top of this interview become very evident, that the solutions to the world's problems are the same. And if we talk about those very few things, the simple and plain things that matter the most, that brings answers, that brings confidence, that brings hope, that brings joy, it brings peace to the world.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
So there was Ted Kimball from 1929, Richard Evans, Alan Jensen, Spencer Kennard, Lord Newell, and now there is you. You're not only presenter, you're also executive producer and writer. And having seen some of the episodes, you see how intentionally inclusive they are. So it's from a place of faith, but it also welcomes everyone. And that's usually tricky, because for a lot of people, they see faith sometimes as not really inclusive. So how are you able to balance keeping your message, the heart of the message, and also saying, hey, you're all welcome?
Yeah, well, it is a privilege to embark upon that journey every single week. And I received a letter 3, 4, 5 months ago from a rabbi Jewish rabbi in Toronto, Canada, who said, I watch your program every single week because the role that I feel as a rabbi is so heavy. And your little 30-minute broadcast each week renews me and fills me with peace. We've brought our Muslim friends with us to the broadcast many weeks in a row, our Christian friends and our friends that say, I don't have any particular faith. And I think that there's something there about the spirit. When you're there with us live broadcasting this, we have a studio audience of 2,000 to 5,000 people each Sunday that are there watching.
Amazing.
So it's a big, big group.
Absolutely.
There is 700 volunteers that help this thing run. Nobody is paid. We have 360 singers. We have 100-piece orchestra. We have 50-plus people backstage, a whole group of people around making this work.
That's a whole city.
It's a whole city. And when you recognize that not a single one of them is doing this for pay or for promotion, they're all doing it to help generate world peace. There's something about that that cuts through the thickness and the challenges of the world, and people of all backgrounds, religious or not, seem to sense that and appreciate that. Sometimes we'll watch people walk in and they look, okay, are you going to try to proselyte to me? Are you going to try to convert me? That's not what we're about. That is not our goal. That's not our job. Our job is simply to form a conduit to God so that then people can feel refreshment and renewal from Him and be inspired to go out and accomplish the things that they need to in their lives each and every day.
So let's talk about your heritage, long heritage, literally. So we can call it ancient.
Yes.
How do you now appeal to a modern audience?
Well, that's incredibly important. And so one of the first things I do each week is let my son and my wife and others read my message. And I say, how does this carry? Are we talking about the things that matter most? How would you say this? Because I only have 400 words. And so you really have to pick those words that are the most important. So one of the things that we need to do is meet people where they are. So one of the reasons we're here in Africa is saying, how can we take this 30-minute broadcast and also produce a short-form content for our brothers and sisters here in this incredible continent? What are the mediums we need to be on? What are the lengths that we need to be? Should there be a picture or should it just be subtitles and captions? And so learning and doing these types of things. The program will always stay the same. That 30-minute broadcast will be there. We're in 50 countries. Millions of people watch every single week. But we also need to take it and prepackage that into ways that everyone can see. And what I've learned through this is this younger generation, they grow into desiring these things. Sometimes when we're younger, at least in my life, I wasn't caring or worried about anyone else. But as I got married and had children, that began to shift. And then as I got older and my kids are growing and one's out of the house already, I recognize my reliance upon the world and the community to help me raise my family. And our broadcast, we believe, as people grow into those needs and concerns, becomes an answer for them. We just want to be able to introduce it to them at an earlier and earlier age so they have it as one of many resources to supplement and complement.
And here's a follow-up to that one. Talk to us about outcomes. What are your experiences in the areas of getting converts through music, get them to, desire what you have?
Yeah. We don't track converts specifically. We don't track any KPIs around that, but what we do track is mission impact. And that comes from the number of people that we can touch. And so we have a whole series of algorithms and formulas that we look at, both through media and through in-person experiences and even tours. This entire group will be going to Sao Paulo, Brazil here in 3 weeks. And so we go around the world as well. And as we talk to people, what we're looking for is how did you feel before and how did you feel after? And what kind of confidence does this give you moving into the world to come? And so truly, for us, this broadcast is not at all about trying to convince people to become Christian or to increase their faith as a Muslim or as a Jew or as anything else. It is simply to say, bring everything that is good in your life and all those worries and concerns that you may have, and come and listen to the message of the music and to a small little program, and then take that away with you and see if that doesn't help just lift your spirit. And as people need this more than ever, to feel edified, to feel unified, to feel inspired, because that brings confidence. And then as we walk down the street with confidence, that allows for us to do things that we couldn't have ever done before. It brings courage, and it brings resilience. And it's one of the things that I have learned and seen here in Africa is the incredible resilience of the people. These people are strong. and I hope to become more like them.
And does that differ with countries? You've been to Kenya, you've been to South Africa, you've been to Nigeria. Does that differ?
So many different languages, hundreds and hundreds of different, groups of people and tribes, and making up this beautiful diversity. But what I would say, truly, what I have felt, I've only been in this beautiful area for 3 weeks, but what I have felt is there is a common unity of resilience and determination. If I had to say 2 words for it, it would be these people are pressing forward, continuing to advance, continuing to progress, and teaching the world many great things as they do it.
Amazing. So the Tabernacle Choir is a Grammy Award-winning choir. I mentioned that because there's been a lot of controversy around the Grammys, particularly in Nigeria, of late. But I won't get into that. Let's stick to the questions. So what are the things you hope that African audience take away from your visit? You talked about what you're taking away, but also let's do like a win-win situation. You're taking away. People should also take away something. Understanding, again, that heritage, the LDS, which you're affiliated with, formerly the Mormon Church, all of that history and sometimes controversy, right? So amidst all of that, what are the takeaways for you that you want people to look back at your visit and say, he came, he saw, he conquered, and these are the spoils that we have?
Well, as I'm aware, this is the first time that a representative of the Tabernacle Choir has been here in Africa, and it will not be the last time. Our church, which started known as the Mormon Church, now the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that name has always been there. Mormon was a nickname.
Yeah.
But this church, this choir started as members of the church were exiled and banished from living in their homeland. And they were pushed out, and as they were walking across the plains of America, looking for a new home where they could practice religious freedom as they desired and as they felt. As they walked and they walked and they walked, they sang and they sang and they sang. And as they landed there and got there to Salt Lake City, Utah, where that choir came to, Brigham Young, who was the president of the church at the time, said, we need to formalize this choir. That was nearly 178 years ago. And he said, how did you learn to sing so well as you crossed these plains, walking barefoot in the summer's heat and in the winter's freezing conditions? And they said, the hills and the valleys were our teacher, and God allowed for us to be his students as he taught us. And so that very backbone of what this choir represents began as a people who were persecuted. And as they sought to break free from that without discriminating to others, what we believe in is letting anyone to be able to worship as they may and as they feel. And so as we now come here to Africa, we're gathering tonight, and all are invited at the Ikija Stake Center of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at 6 o'clock p.m. next to Alliance Bank. And as we're there, we hope to be able to sing these songs that lifted us along the way. And many of them are recognized by our friends here. Come, come, ye saints. A famous one about talking about how we walked across these plains. And I think that each of us can find something in that story in our own lives. Times where we may have felt ostracized. Times when we may have felt different. Times when we may have felt looked down upon. And so our mission is to say those things can happen. But God willing, as we continue to push forward and to walk forward, we can prevail and we can achieve. And so we sing our way through trials. We sing our way through hardships. We sing our way through life. And we hope tonight, as we visit with many hundreds of people that will come, that we can inspire them to also sing their way through the things that are hard in life.
You said very deep things, but as we begin to wind down, I can let you keep talking. That's quite inspiring. Let's talk about, as we close, the audience that is looking at you and listening to you and with your inspiring words. And we're big on sometimes projections. It's February the 3rd. The year is long ahead of us.
I thought you were counting down to Valentine's.
Yeah. So what would you say to the people watching right now?
I would say, keep walking forward. Keep pressing forward. This is a beautiful world that is full of things that are broken and difficult right now. But brighter days lie ahead. I am an optimist. The Church of Jesus Christ are optimists. And we believe in the value of people and that people are good. And as we work together and we collaborate and we come together, there is no limit to what we can accomplish.
Absolutely.
Brilliant words. Have you tried any of our dishes?
No, but please point me in the right way. I just got here last night, and I'm eager to do it.
Well, jollof rice is like a given, so
Okay.
definitely you try jollof rice.
Okay.
But I want to encourage you to try one of our native soups. Jeffrey.
Maybe one from Jeffrey's place.
Maybe you can try. You can ask them to give you something called afang soup.
Okay, afang soup.
Afang soup will be a good
It's
start.
always a winner.
Good.
You can try amala and ewedu as well. Depending
do
on
it
how
for
much
lunch.
time you have.
I have time for afang
And
soup
how
for
much
sure.
how much your stomach can tolerate.
And in line with our tradition, we'll also give you an African name before you exit our shores.
Please.
So, I don't know
I
about
didn't start
Jeffrey.
it. So finish what you started. We're done.
So maybe we'll give you Coyote.
Thank you. I'm
That's his name.
That's his name, by the way.
now I'm doubly honored.
Exactly, you're right.
You may be offended, but I am honored.
I'm actually honored. So it's good to have you on the show, Derrick Porter, also known as
It
Kat.
means Kade means he has brought joy, or the arrival of joy, or something like that.
I didn't see that coming, but that's beautiful. We have to thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been such an amazing time with you. And 6 p.m. today,
6 p.m.
You say at the...
Acacia Stake Center of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
So absolutely go out there, listen to some inspiring, great music. We have to thank you so much. Once again, Derrick Porter, executive producer, writer, and presenter of the long-running program from 1929, Music and the Spoken Word. Thank you once again.
Thank you.